Hi everyone, let's start today's call. The first agenda item is to go through the current Sprint update. We did close out a few tickets this week. They are the lag for the lag forms for the update changes as well as the histopathology forms. Thanks Simon for fixing those. And regarding the teleconsultation tickets, I ping Sam again. He said he's going to take a look, spend some time this weekend on fixing those issues that I identified that last time. And for the Kenya EMR, Simon, have you heard from Nicholas about restarting the demo server yet?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent a message to Nicholas, but he's not responded yet. But I noticed all their test servers are not accessible. So I don't know exactly what is going on there.
Okay. Yeah, so the testing for the Canyon EMR mUzima integrations tickets are continue to be on hold. So Simon makes some update progress on the demographic update form. Simon, do you want just to give a brief update for the team? Martin,
Yes,
go ahead.
I'll just follow up on the Kenya EMR integration.
Okay.
Okay. Just to make sure, there've been some changes in personnel. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the status is that Simon finished all those forms that we agreed to work on, and then there were some minor changes that we identified during the testing, and then he fixed those and upload to the test server. Since then, it's been done, and we could not proceed. That's pretty much the status now. So we would like to wrap those up if the demos server is up. Okay. So Simon, do you want to give an update on the demographic update form, what you have done, and then also the testing procedures?
Yeah. So this one I did as per what we discussed previously on design discussion, and I don't know whether I should just do a small demo to show you exactly what I did on the form and how.
Okay. Do you have time to do it now?
Yeah. I think 5 minutes.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So let me just share my screen.
Okay, cool. You can see the screen?
You can see it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So the form itself is adapted from the registration form, where I'm making all the fields be editable by users. But they have designed it. I think, as you can see, the registration form has sections, has names, address, identifiers, and other demographics. That is sex and birth date. So I've introduced new checkboxes under each of these sections, where users would select whether they want to update that section. So for example, if you wanted to update names, then you check. It is asking whether you'll update names. Once you do that, a new section will show up for updating names. So you can type in the new family name, the given name, middle name, and the mother's name. When this data goes to the server side for names will not.
So,
Yes,
so one question.
area
Ada,
there.
I'm having a
Yeah,
hard time
yeah.
hearing
So
you.
I have a question. So under the updates name section, there's like family name, given name, middle name. If they only enter one, the other two leave blank, will the blank replace the original?
Um, no, the names we are giving here will not override what is existing, but it will add a new entry. I think I'll show exactly what I mean on the server side.
And then
Yes, Ada? Okay, what I mean
Ada,
is that
Ada,
yes,
Ada
go
is getting disconnected.
ahead.
um, so what I mean is that if you update names here, these names would be added to the list of names for this patient that were already saved previously.
Mm-hmm.
So we are not, this one will not change the names, but it will put additional names to the current list. I think I'll show exactly what I mean using the server-side interface. So the same will happen for address. You can select will update address to allow you to input new address information. So a new section would show up for inputting the country, location, sublocation, and the other details of address. For identifiers, um, since on the registration form we have the section for putting other identifiers, so here I'm reusing the same part where you will not amend the MRS ID, but you can use the add identifier section to put new identifiers. So here, as with the registration form, you can choose the identifier type, then you can type in the identifier value, and you confirm the same. And you can put as many identifiers as you would like. The last section is changing sex. If you want to change sex, you'd select the checkbox and put in the new value. The same applies for changing birth date. And finally, the usual encounter location provider name values that you have to input. So basically, that's it for the form. Now I have filled two records already and saved as complete. So one of them, updating all the details, including the birth date and the sex, and the other one I'm only updating the names. Why I'm showing this is that remember in the last discussion call we said whenever you're changing sex or the birth date, it should require manual review at the server side. But
Yeah.
if you're only updating any of the other fields, then that information can be processed directly and saved in the database.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to show you how the manual review will be done.
Okay.
So what we do for now is upload the data. Oh, sorry, I don't have connection. Okay, so just before the call, I stopped the scheduler task. You might wonder why the data is not processed already. So these are the two records I've just uploaded. When they get processed, I expect one of them to process successfully, the one that has minimal information. And that is this one, I believe. And the other one should go to the error queue because it requires manual review of the birth date and the change of sex. So I'll go ahead to start the scheduler task. Okay, the data is already processed. On the error queue, the first record is a new entry if you check by the submission date. So one has been processed, and this is the second record. And as you can see, I hope it's clear. The error messages being given is that one, change of gender requires manual review, and the other one, change of birth date requires manual review. Now, how to review? We require that one, as with any other error, we shall open the payload in edit form. Then, as you can see how the data is formatted, I have three sections. One gives the original information, the information that was originally existing with the patient. So this is the information I use to search for that existing record so that I can do the edits or the update. And then the other important section is the one with the key demographic update. So this one gives all the new information we have inputted for this patient. And the one that required us to put it to the error queue is this change. There's new information for the demographic update, sex, and the other one for birth date. Now, to do the review, I've made it require a new entry. That is, it requires that the person reviewing to put in a new key value pair. That is gender change validated. So it's just a constant value that you can copy paste or you can type in and then give it the value true. So that one would mean gender has been validated. And if I try to validate, the error messages has reduced to 1, which requires validation of birth date. So likewise, we shall need to put in a new key value pair. That is birth date change validated, and as well we give it the value true. So once we do that, the handler will understand this payload has been validated, and it now shall allow us to save as with any other errors and put it on the queue. Okay, so the data has been processed. So let me just search for it. One was provide test, this entry. Sorry. My connection is a bit slow, but there we go. So you can see the new names I gave it were Robai 2, test 2, test 2. If I open the patient record in this edit view, we'll see that of the patient identifiers, this Kenya National ID is one that okay, I didn't update this one, but yeah, this is the record that I only changed patient names. So initially there was a Robai test, and the new names is the one that was processed today is Robai 2 test 2. So what I was explaining earlier, Ada, is that when you change names, it won't overwrite the existing names, but it would add a new entry to the list
Right.
of patients.
So yeah, I think this is really nice demo and explanation, Simon. So one minor thing I think maybe we can include is once we click on update the identifier type sessions, I think we also need to include the identifier type universal ID because it's possible that a new universal ID has been issued. I think that's the only thing that I can think of from your demo that may should be included.
Okay. Well, yeah, from the drop-down list. Okay, so I include because I think from the drop-down list we have MRS ID. So you're saying I also include an item for universal ID.
Yeah, I think because like on our original demographic form, because we captured the universal ID on a separate session rather than under the other identifier type, I think we just, because this is update form, I think it makes sense for us to include the universal ID as one of the drop-down option
Okay.
under other identifier type.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
thank you. I think that's likely to happen. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So the other record I was mentioning, this root test, I introduced a new patient identifier so we can see what was processed today. We have a new national ID number. We have new patient name. There was no patient address, so this is a new patient address processed today. And finally, patient information. So there's a new mother's name and cell phone number. And the birth date, these are new birth date, and also the patient who was female now is male because the changes were validated. So that's it for the demographic update. I will, yeah, I will update what we've just said, and then I will allow now other members to go ahead and test. We see whether there are other things also to be changed.
Sure. Thank you, Simon.
Welcome.
Yeah, Simon, that's very cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Cool. So